morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to the first edition of Mind Blowers. Today, I have two special guests with me. To my right, I have Keith Flores and Ryan Bogan. To start it out, we're gonna go over some childhood myths, y'all. You remember, like, your mama would talk to you and tell you all these things, like maybe eating some carrots would give you like night vision, maybe a little bit of wet hair get cold. What do you guys think about that? Do you think carrots can give you night vision?
I think that if you ate enough carrots, I think that you'd be able to like have mega ultra Superman vision. You could like see through walls and stuff.
Actually?
Like if you ate enough carrots, I think that enough of that carrot juice would like go to your eyes and it would, you know, like transform you into Superman.
What's your thoughts, Ryan?
Okay, so first and foremost, I've never eaten that many carrots to know. And secondly, I can say carrots is the vegetable you have to work hardest at preparing to not be like totally gross. So it's like, you know, it's like, who just eats a carrot? You got to have carrots and something. It's got to have like ranch dip and hot wings. You can't just eat a carrot. That's just nasty. That's gross.
According to John, there's no vegetables. Vegetables aren't real.
That's technically true. There technically are no vegetables on the planet.
Well, tell Michael Jackson that then, because he got a whole song singing like you're a vegetable. So I don't know. Like.
So to answer you, Keith, yes, carrots contain vitamins to help with X-ray vision, but it's only gonna prevent a little bit and add a little bit. It's not gonna change your DNA, bro. Like, I don't know where you're getting that.
Don't carrots also have keratin?
Yeah, no.
There's keratin in carrots?
No.
There's no keratin in carrots?
No.
I think keratin starts with a K.
Yeah.
Oh, because it was like keratin.
On to the next, mind blown.
All right.
So, like, when you go outside and, you know, you just took a shower, you're all wet, you think you get sick if you're all wet, it's cold outside?
I mean, you want to take this first?
Sure. So if my hair is dripping wet, I'm generally going straight outside just to get it to dry. I'll like shake off like a dog. And then that usually gets my hair pretty dry, so I don't think I'm gonna get sick from that. But I feel like if you didn't like do the little dog part, I think you could get sick because it would like make your head cold, you know?
I wouldn't necessarily say you would get sick, but you will stink. Like I'm just saying, you go outside with a wet head and you just let it air dry, like you're gonna smell like the washing machine after you forgot to put the clothes in the dryer. So that's all I'm gonna say. So it's like, you know, wet head, smelly head. You know, dry head, maybe still smelly. It depends on how you take care of yourself.
Mind blown. Going off of that, there's a kind of a really disgusting place that I like to call public bathrooms.
Ooh.
There's this thing going around, I don't know about you guys, but there's this saying that's going around that hand dryers are more hygienic than using like some paper towels when you're washing your hands. What are your thoughts on that?
That was made up by the big paper towel. Because
the corporation, right?
Exactly, because when you use a hand dryer, it's blowing all that germs all over the place. So I think it's much more hygienic to use paper towels.
Is somebody opening the paper towel machine and spraying it with Clorox every day and cleaning that off?
No, but that's not spraying through the air like a
But still, you got a dirty, not disinfected thing. You just pulling towels out, and the janitor.
But if I sneeze,
the janitor is touching like nasty toilets all day. Then he going to touch the paper towel thing and load it with new paper towels. So when you pull out your paper towel, you touch it like, you know, nasty janitor paper towel, hand paper towel.
Pull a couple of paper towels, and then you get like fresh bit.
But no, like bacteria is like microbiome. Like what's the word? It's microscopic.
Microbacteria.
Yeah, like you can't
there's
see
microbacteria.
So
if I sneeze into a hand dryer, then my sneeze is just percolating through the bathroom.
But who stands over the Dyson and says how cheap?
All right, boys.
People are disgusting. You ever been in a public bathroom?
I barely go in there. Like, I like to go into the bathroom.
I have the answer. Don't worry about
you have
it.
The knowledge.
You ready? You ready for this? Hand dryers are inherently more hygienic than paper towels, as jet dryers can spread bacteria into the air. So I'm gonna have to back up Keith on this one. Hand dryers, they're more disgusting, brother.
I'm pretty sure it's already bacteria.
Mind blown.
In the bathroom.
On to the next one.
Okay.
So, I know you take a lot of supplements, Ryan. You like supplements? Like, I'm talking like vitamin C.
Oh yeah.
Not like pause. Anyways,
vitamin C.
Supplements, would you say they boost your immune system? Like in a positive way?
Well, it depends on what you're taking first and foremost.
Okay.
Like if you're just taking like a bunch of just like, I don't know what, melatonin. I don't see you get any healthier. I see you probably sleeping longer and having unhealthy side effects, if anything, you know. But if you take like, you know, vitamin C, maybe a little protein, creatine, and like, you know, all these other amino acids and things that GNC has to offer, then I feel like you can build your immune system and get less sick. But just like, you know, like, I don't know, like you can't just say supplements. You got to be like specific on that topic.
Okay. I like those answers, but actually, and I quote from Dr. Castle, she states that you actually don't want your immune system to be stronger. You want it to be balanced. As she says, too much of an immune response is just as bad as too little. Coming out of this, we actually had one of our own from Mind Blowers. Her name was Donna Giles. We had her go around and do some of the same questions from interviews, and I kind of just want to see their opinion versus your guys' opinion. So why don't we go to our Voice of the Universe and look at those?
Hello, we're here on Full Sail Campus with.
My name is Jenna, and I am a lab specialist for the show production program.
Idro Chopra. Isaiah, and I guess my degree is recording arts.
Anasia Dawkins, and my major is music production.
Sam.
Coy.
Bachelor's in recording arts.
Bachelor's of music production.
All right, and we're doing interviews on mind blower questions. Have you ever gone outside with wet hair?
I have many times.
Do you think you'll get sick by doing that?
Absolutely not.
Mind blow. All right, so do you wash your hair?
Yes, every day.
So is it normally wet after?
That's the goal, yeah.
So do you air dry your hair?
For the most part, just a little bit of towel.
It's kinda like you, Keith.
Air, get the rest. Yeah.
Kind of air dry your
Okay,
hair.
so do you believe you get sick?
I don't use
if you
the
go
towel, I
outside
just-
with wet hair.
No. At least I don't.
Mind blown.
Thank you, Donna. Thank you.
So Isaiah, do you wash your hair?
Oof.
See, now, what does he do?
He buffs his hair.
Yes.
He buffs it.
Yeah.
Or tweezes it. Shades.
All right, so
Don't
with
worry.
all your hair, do you believe
Maximum,
that you can
maximum.
get sick if it's still wet?
I mean, I know there's a rumor or like a saying that you get sick from your hair being cold, but science has proven that you don't. So no, I don't. I don't think you can get sick from walking out with your hair being wet into the cold.
Mind blown. I like your hair. You have a nice hairstyle.
Thank you.
Do you wash it?
Yes, I do, but I try to do it only once weekly because too much wash, not good.
So when you wash it and you're in a hurry, do you sometimes go outside with it wet?
Sometimes, not that often though.
Do you believe that it can give you a cold?
If the weather's cold enough, probably, but most of the time, no, especially not in Florida, so.
Yeah. Mind blown. So I see you guys have some nice hair. Do you, do you believe that if you go outside with it wet, you're gonna get a cold?
Yes.
Depending on the temperature that's outside, no and yes.
So what temperature? Like
If it's cold outside, then yes, definitely you'll catch a cold with wet hair, but
Anything below 65, then you can get sick.
Is that a Florida
Definitely
65 or
won't
somewhere else 65?
Not a Florida 65.
65 is
Florida
warm.
65 like 80.
Yeah, I agree.
I really
One,
want to know, so I just
82.
moved down here, so just started 2 months in right now.
mind blown.
Thank you, Donna, for those very reassuring comments and questions. So they kind of went back to what I asked you guys. You said you liked shaking like a dog?
Yeah, just like outside. Gets all the
Shaking
air
like
off.
a dog.
Yeah, it's,
What did
know.
you say?
I say you probably won't get sick, but you know, like I mean,
You would probably get a little stinky.
as a black man in America, I know we can't like it'll mildew.
Yeah.
It'll smell like. Ooh,
I
so
think
wet.
both are solid options, but I think we all can agree that it's mostly a virus if you're gonna get sick. Like it's not just correlating to being wet, right?
Well, is a cold not a virus?
Well, it was the question was being wet in the cold.
How cold? Like a Florida 65? Like how cold we talking here? Like cold enough to snow or like just chilly?
Let's say we're in Antarctica, boy.
Oh, okay. Well,
First
I
of all,
think you're gonna get sick.
In Antarctica, if you walk outside with your hair wet, it's gonna instantly turn into like ice
Freeze,
hair,
yeah.
and then it's gonna snap and break, and all your pretty hair is just gonna like be broken.
Wow.
But then you
wow.
wouldn't smell because it'd be frozen.
Wow. Mind
stuff in the freezer, doesn't
blown.
smell.
All right, going into our next category, boys, we're gonna go into some kind of like brain twisters, getting into it. Let me know what you guys think about this first one. So there's a common misconception that bats are blind, and they use echolocation as their main way of navigating and talking with each other. What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, given the fact that they fly around and they get to their destination without smacking everything, to say they're blind might be overreaching. But I know Daredevil did have some type of vision. If you like smack the pole, he can like see everything for like 3 seconds.
That's echolocation.
Okay,
legit.
so possibly.
Yeah.
Possibly.
What do you think, Keith?
I think bats are blind because
They're blind?
you know, that people who can't see, they're like, oh, you're blind as a bat. So I think that bats very much are blind. They just like use their noise maker.
You bring up a perfect point.
Yeah.
Perfect point. Because like, why would they not be blind? If like, why would we ever
they gotta
say
be
that?
blind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But in all reality, you're wrong. Mind blown, by the way. Bats aren't blind. Most bat species have functional eyes. If we think about fruit bats fly during the day, and they need to be seen, be able to be seen during the day, so they need to get their fruit. You know what I'm saying?
Well, why do they need echolocation then if they have eyes?
They,
You don't need eyes if you have echolocation.
and then
We got GPS.
I guess you're
Exactly,
right.
like GPS.
But they
I'll close my eyes,
rely
like-
heavily on echolocation to navigate and hunt in complete darkness.
if I had
but
GPS
it's during the day. Oh, also, side fact:
Ooh.
there are no vegetable bats.
Oh, that's interesting.
So there's
I
no
don't blame
vegetables
that.
in the world, and there are no vegetable bats in the world. You heard it here first on Mind Blowers.
Well, I
on to
mean,
the next
what
one.
does it make sense?
So there's a common thing that we say. We only use 10% of our brains, and I would like to take it out to Donna for this one.
So, have you ever heard that you only use 10% of your brain?
I have.
Do you believe that?
No.
So, how much percent of your brain do you think you use?
Why not?
I know that you use 100% because if you only use 10%, you'd probably be dying or dead.
Mind blown.
Sorry.
So, do you believe you only use 10% of our brain?
Actually, yeah, I do. Yeah, I do. I feel like there's more that people can, actually use with their brain and, figure out, but they just choose not to.
So, how much percent do you think you're using?
Currently, I'm using about 20%.
So, how do we calculate that?
Well, I try my best to believe that I use as much as I say I'm using, and then I tell people that and hope they believe me.
Mind blown. So,
good
do you
over
only believe that we use 10% of our brain?
At a time, yes.
Damn.
I also think that we use all of our brain simultaneously throughout the day, but at any given moment, 10% at max.
Okay, so what's the max percentage you think you've used?
At a time, probably like 2. Probably about like 15, depending on the circumstances. The more you're multitasking, stuff like that. You know what I'm
Multitasking
saying?
is fake.
The harder the task, typically you gotta focus a bit more on it. So you're probably using a bit more of your mind, especially if you have to work with your hands and move your body around and stuff like that. But
Mind blown. All right, so do you believe that we only use 10% of our brain?
I feel like for some people, but I feel like there's a little niche group that I think we use more. People are very creative and diverse, so I think more.
So how much do you say you use?
On a good creative flow day, I'd say at least like 25%. Yeah.
So how do you do these calculations? How did you create that number?
I guess it's off of like a feeling and what the product is. Like the end result, I'm like, yeah, you know what? I was using my brain for this, like extra brain waves. Yeah.
Mind blown. Do you believe that we only use 10% of our brains?
No, honestly. I think it might be a little less than that, honestly, but we do use a good amount of it, though.
Say yes. Because you have to spend some time figuring some things out, and you have to figure which way you want to do some things. So yeah, most of the time, yeah, we use 10% of our brain to get a lot of things, questions that we can't get. Sometimes you gotta ask yourself.
Yo, he's
until
into it.
you get the answer. So yeah.
He's into it.
He's about 12 to 15.
All right, Sam. So since you said less, how much?
I say maybe about 5% because we really haven't explored all of it, and we're not really able to get all that capacity out. So I think it's a little bit less. We still have a lot more to do. Even though we've done a lot, we still have a lot more to do.
Mind blown.
So I'm going to ask you the same thing Donna asked. How much % of your brain do you use, Ryan?
I mean, it depends. Like, you know, you ever had an excruciating migraine headache or somebody getting on your nerves like really, really bad?
Yeah, I could say that's happening right now.
Being the fact that I feel my whole dome like throbbing, I like to say like 100% of my brain gets used sometimes because, like, you know, I might be thinking about something and somebody getting on my nerves. So like now, like the back of the head start hurting, then it start hurting here. If the whole head hurt, I think the whole head working. But I know we're talking about, like, you know, on a terms of like neurons and synapses. So like look at it like a hard drive. Like this thing is like 1,000 terabytes, but it's like, you know, it's not, I don't think I'm gonna really just use 1,000 terabytes. So I might just be using like, you know, 100 terabytes, which is like 10%. So like I'd say it could be a fact based on the situation.
What about you, Keith?
So I think that you could overclock your brain and use even more than 100%.
Okay, so we're both talking. We got chips on our brains, is what we're talking about.
No, the brain is like a computer with
So
chips in it.
we have chips in our brain.
Like
Yep.
potato chips or like computer chips?
No, we're talking computer chips.
Oh, okay.
If it was potato chips, it'd be sour
Like
cream
like
and onion
loading up
Lay's.
like multiple RAMs inside my head and
Oh, yeah.
being able to compute.
Yeah. And when you're using more than one chip at the same time, that's when you start getting a headache.
So I'm gonna take it back to our first interview when Jenna was saying like, hey, maybe we would be like dying if we weren't using all our brain. And yeah, that's the facts of it, is we are using like 100% of our brain. It's just maybe we're not using each neuron simultaneously.
Exactly.
Like it'd be
Yeah.
a waste of space if it was.
Mind blown.
But I knew it was 100% because like when you get that headache.
So what do you think would happen if you were to hold a sneeze inside of your skull?
I think you would explode.
I've done that before, and it is not really comfortable. I've sneezed and I felt it like go up into my brain, and I started crying, and then like snotting. I'm like,
I feel like your eyes might pop out of your socket, like you know, your
Yeah, so
stomach would explode.
with Keith, I'm
your
gonna
ears
have
would
to.
like.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure your head would explode if you would hold it in, right?
let's see. You want to try it, Keith?
I don't have a sneeze going right now.
I'm gonna have to ask you to not try this right now.
Don't try this at home, kids. On to our mind blown.
Literally.
We're gonna go take it out back to Donna for our next question.
All right. So how long have you been in Florida?
I am a native Floridian. I'm from South Florida, but I've lived in Volusia County for 5 years.
Okay. So you've seen a lot of rain, then I'm guessing.
Yes, so much.
All right. So do you know that lightning strikes in one place twice?
I mean, I guess it can. It's statistically improbable, but it could. My mom's been struck by lightning, actually.
Mind blown. How long have you been in Florida?
Well, this is actually my 3rd time living here, but since I've been back, almost 2 years now.
So have you been through any hurricanes or anything like that?
Too many to count. Yeah, but I love hurricanes. They're nice. They're pretty.
What?
What?
Boy.
Have you ever been struck by lightning?
What?
It's nice after.
What hurricane?
No, but it does sound a
After it
little
goes away,
fun
it's
at
nice.
sometimes. You know, just try something new.
Tell that to New Orleans.
Do you believe lightning strikes twice?
Tell
They're
that.
like right on the water.
Strikes twice.
They got it coming.
I haven't seen it personally, but I'm definitely still waiting for that moment.
Does,
So in
does,
general,
does,
don't
does
think
a
that's
strobe
ever
light
happened?
flash once?
Like I said, I haven't seen
Does a
something
strobe
like that,
flash
but
one time?
I think it might have. It might have.
It's a flash because it's more than once.
Chance.
That's another interview.
Mind blown.
There's your bunker.
So how long have you been in Florida?
Slowly.
Since January 6th. Yeah, I just moved down here from Texas just to attend Full Sail, so
Does Texas have rain?
all the time. It's
Barely.
actually humid as hell out there, to be so honest. Like I come from Central Texas too, so we're not right on the coast, but
That's hot. That's that humidity,
yeah, we
bro.
get our fair share.
So does lightning strike once in a spot?
I want to say so. I mean, yeah, it's good. Gotta strike at least once. You know. As a matter of fact, I think I just saw it strike somewhere not just too long ago.
I would hope so.
Well, I was hanging out, going at the park, and I saw lightning strike. It was crazy. Probably shouldn't be cussing so much.
Was that the question I was supposed to ask? So how long have you been in Florida?
My whole life, pretty much. I only moved out of state like twice, and it wasn't for that long. But the majority, like 20 years, in Florida.
So you've been through all the hurricanes and stuff like that?
Yup. What was it? Ian? Irma?
Yo.
Yup.
Yo.
So do you believe that lightning strikes the same spot more than once?
I feel like it's pretty like sporadic, so if it does, it'd probably be very rare. But I don't know. I'm not a science major. I don't know.
Mind blown.
Damn sure.
All right, so I know you said you're from Jersey, Sam. Are you from Florida?
That's where I'm from.
Born and raised in Orlando.
So
Oh,
you've
yeah,
seen
you
all
guys
the
listen up-
rain and
listen up to
the
this.
hurricanes and everything, right?
Rains, hurricanes, you name it, yeah. I did. I've been experienced the hurricane season a lot since I've been a kid, so yeah, all my life.
How about you, Sam?
Hurricanes, not so much, but snowstorms, yes.
All right, so do you think lightning hits the same spot more than once?
Yes, definitely, yes. I've actually seen it in real life. When lightning actually hit the ground, I've seen the lightning hit like when the lightning rods during like a little thunderstorm or whatever.
Mhm.
But I've seen
Yeah, when
it
the
like
molecules
twice.
go and your photons,
Goes
your
everywhere.
Yeah,
electrons,
It goes everywhere.
yeah, your
I'm a
nuclei.
victim of it.
Mitochondria.
Really,
Mighty mitochondria.
I've been struck 3 times by lightning. Yeah. So I
He got like a big ass, like started like that.
That's what
But
he never showed us.
as far
Where's
as
the
my
proof?
experience,
Oh.
I've been struck in 3 different spots. But
I feel like if you got struck
Can
by
you
lightning, it would be
describe
like
how that happened?
so the first one, me and my mom, we was looking out the window, rainstorm,
crazy.
and lightning bolt struck right in front of the house, and it hit me, and I bounced back.
You know, I wonder
The
if he has
second
superpowers from
one,
this.
I was out in the
Right?
park playing baseball.
I wonder if he could see through
and
walls.
As soon as I hit
Probably.
the ball, that's when the lightning bolt hit, and it was close to first base as I was running, and it hit me. The last one, I was at home. I was getting ready to walk outside, and it was raining. As soon as I got close to my car, lightning bolt struck, and it bounced off the metal
Wow.
of the car and then hit me.
Wow.
So, yeah, I fell.
Mind blown. At least it didn't hit your mother.
Wasn't that a great interview?
At least it didn't hit your mother.
So I'm gonna ask you guys, what do you think about lightning? Do you think it can strike twice in the same place?
1000% yes, I've seen it.
Yes.
So I was maybe like 12 or 13, and my dad had this obsession. When it is like severe thunderstorm, like get under something, he likes to go sit on the front porch while my mother just cusses from the front door like, Edward, get in this house. So he had the door wide open one time, and we had a beautiful Bradford pear tree in our front yard. And I literally go, I'm like, Daddy, Mama said get in this house. And as soon as he came in the house, we had the screen door open. It hit the ground, but like, you know, it's like a strobe light just doesn't flash one time. It's multiple flashes.
Yeah.
Just like, that's why when lightning flash, it's like flashing.
Yeah.
And like it hits the ground, and then like it'll knock up the dirt, and it'll send it, and you can feel the energy from it, you know. So I think it strikes like multiple times in the same spot. When it hits like real fast, like da da da.
I like that. I like that. What about you, Keith?
I know that if lightning strikes a beach, it'll turn the sand to glass.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if it strikes more than
Minecraft
once.
logic, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. You know, that's how all the logic should follow. Minecraft.
So lightning can and will always strike a place
Multiple times.
Multiple times. due to like tall structures, skyscrapers, lightning rods. Like, what do you think lightning rods are made for?
and then,
That's
like,
literally
but I feel
in
like
the
that's a
name lightning
man-made-
rods. Like, you're literally supposed to get a rod of lightning.
Well,
Yes,
no,
like-
that's not what it's for. It's to divert it. It's like, but like if you have lightning rods on the top of buildings, like especially like in metropolitan areas, before the lightning like hits something that it don't need to hit, it'll be attracted to this rod that like takes the hit. It's kind of like take one for the team. Like look at the lightning rod as one that's gonna always take one for the team, like a strong one, like one of those.
So can we create a team called Rod Lightning?
I'm pretty sure if we get like 3 lightning rods and put them together, like we can just call it rod lightning.
But lightning rods are man-made. If we didn't have them, I don't think it would hit more than once. You know, in nature, like if lightning strikes in the forest and no one's there to hear it, did the lightning strike twice?
And also, lightning doesn't just strike. Lightning uprises also. Like lightning literally will like start in the, like it's like come from the bottom like meat.
Yeah, let me
But
know.
it happens so fast. Also, I've been on a plane, on an airplane.
Yeah.
I've seen upward lightning.
Upwards lightning. That's a fact. That's a
I
fact.
was like,
On
oh,
God,
it's
on
going
God.
straight up. It's like
On
what
God.
goes up must come down, right?
That's mind blown, dude. Holy. So there's this color that really gets me going, you know, and it's pretty famous in Spain, and they do like a bunch of festivals, and there's this specific animal, you know, it's called a bull, and it gets really, really angry at this color. Can you name this color?
Red,
Why red?
because it's red.
Why?
Because that's the color they get mad at. I don't have bull vision, so I couldn't tell you some bull answer.
Oh, I thought you were part bull.
I am.
So, to answer your question, bulls don't actually get mad at the color red. They're actually colorblind to the color red. Did you know that?
I
In
did know-
fact, mind blown, that bulls are colorblind.
I didn't know that.
So I'd like to get
sounds
into
like
the
bull.
next category, which would be our pop culture category. I
into the
think
next
Ryan
category.
would really enjoy this one because we have a bunch of questions about music and like his style of art. So yeah, let's hop into our next category. So a question for both of you would be, well, kind of a statement, but music is only for the naturally gifted. True or false?
True.
False.
True. Why do you say true? Then we'll get to your false. True.
Because I have no music ability, and I went through like 6 music classes, and I just can't carry a beat. Like I'm just flopping like a fish.
Okay,
up
so
there.
you're a lost cause. On to Ryan.
Exactly.
It's like millions of people that have no sense of rhythm,
Yeah.
no sense of tonality, no sense of like musical structure at all. But like music sells for sure. I guarantee you, out of the 50,000 fans in the concert, 40,000 can't do nothing oddly close to being like musically talented. So I wouldn't say
Yeah.
that it's only
So
for
it's not
those.
like you're born with it.
Well, some people are born with it. Some people are naturally have it, but I wouldn't say you have to be what was the term you used?
Gifted.
What?
Music is only for the naturally gifted.
Yes, music is only for the naturally gifted.
No, because I know a lot of people that are that love music and they're great musicians, but how are we saying gifted? Are gifted on an educational level,
Yeah.
or gifted in common
So
sense?
then what do
Because
you have
everybody
to
ain't
say
got
to
common
Keith for
sense.
people that can't keep rhythm? Like, how do they keep rhythm? How would they get better?
They don't keep rhythm because they can't keep rhythm.
Okay, so how would you get better? Because you're explaining how it's not naturally gifted,
I
but
don't
you
know.
are explaining
Maybe
how it's
line
naturally
dancing at a
gifted.
barbecue and listening.
Which
to
one is it?
just listen to the instructions of the cha-cha slide or something. It's not hard. To the right. Take it back now, y'all.
If you
One
don't know
hop.
You don't know your right from your left. Then you're going to the right. You're ruining.
Then don't dance. The music is
well-
not for you. If you don't know your right from your left, music is not for you.
But my left and my right have
You
nothing to do
hear
with
it?
music.
You heard it here.
But at the same time,
I can cha-cha. You heard
at the
it
same
first,
time,
folks.
Stevie Wonder don't know up from down,
Music is
left
for
from
the
right,
naturally
and that fool
gifted.
is a musician.
I can
Mind
cha-cha real smooth, but I don't
blown.
know my left from my right.
Well, you gonna have to. Are you dyslexic or
Oh, I'm very dyslexic.
When,
Thank you.
when you don't know your left from your right, that's this what? This cordophobia?
I don't know. I just know that my letters are backwards and.
All right, on to the next. Do you think music is a privilege, not a necessity of life?
No, music is a necessity.
Music is a necessity.
Mm-hmm.
Why is it necessary to have music in this world?
I agree. I mean, I don't know if it's it just it's just so easy to make music. Like even like in cave days, we could beat on something like
Yeah,
beat on the
facts.
ground.
If it wasn't for Kenny G and gospel music, a lot of bad things would happen 24/7. Because like, I'm just saying, like it's been some situations where I was about to tear that thing down.
Yeah,
and
but you
I
put
put
on
on
some
some
Kenny
gospel,
G.
like yes, Lord.
Yeah.
And like I'm much more humble.
Yeah, so going off of that, literally,
Jesus saves.
music is a natural part of our life. Going back to caveman days, one of our first languages was music. That's how we would
Grunts.
communicate. Yeah, our grunts. We don't need it. I feel like I'm being hunted down right now.
Ask you to refrain from doing that.
Holy.
Apologies.
This is mind blowing.
My
Well, I mean, he said cave
my
man,
mind,
like
my
made
mind.
music. So I'm just trying to think how they made music.
Yeah, that was a bit awkward, so we're gonna send it back out to Donna for our last interview.
So who invented the moonwalk?
I don't know, but I mean, Michael Jackson was famous for doing it, so maybe he invented it. I don't know though.
Can you moonwalk?
No.
Oh, you should have busted
really
it.
Coordinated, actually.
Mind blown.
Chop it on deck. Oh.
I like how long they
Thank you,
keep the
Donna.
camera on
Who
Donna.
invented the moonwalk?
Who invented the moonwalk? I believe astronauts invented the moonwalk, and then Michael Jackson took over afterwards.
Oh, really?
Oh, really? Snap.
Can you moonwalk?
I cannot, especially not in these shoes.
That's unfortunate.
Show the shoes.
Mind blown.
That's unfortunate. Really is, Donna. It is.
So. Mind blown. So who invented the moonwalk?
Wasn't it Michael Jackson? Or was it James Brown? That's a good question. I mean, Michael made it famous, didn't he? Yeah.
Mind blown. All
Damn
right,
straight,
so
Donna, damn
who
straight.
created the moonwalk?
Ooh, that's a tricky question because most people will be like, oh, Michael Jackson. But then you gotta realize where he derived his style from and everything. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, is it James Brown? I think. There's more research to go into that. But it's not Michael Jackson. That's not where it started. But he is the one that made it popular. So, yeah.
Mind blown. So who created the moonwalk?
Michael Jackson.
Interesting. I like that question. I actually know. And the moonwalk
do you?
actually came from a tap dancer from way back in the day. And that's how Michael Jackson actually learned how to do the moonwalk. The moonwalk is actually a tap dance move that
What was
tap
it called?
dancers used to do.
What was it called?
I can't think of it.
What was it called?
I think I know his name. Tappity tap. Tappity tappity.
Something like that. Yeah.
Tippity tappity tip. Tippity tap tap
Mind
tap.
blown.
Mind blown. Damn straight. Going off of that, what did you guys get from that interview?
I really want to know if there's an earth walk. All this talk
An
of
earth
moonwalk.
walk.
Yeah, is there an earth walk?
Facts.
So would you be sliding forward
I think that's just us walking.
perpetually?
Keith.
But what is what?
Well, no, because not like more. No, it wouldn't be just walking because like you can
Yeah,
say
because
moonwalk
it's
is
the
walking
earth
backwards.
walk.
like-
You're literally
like,
walking on Earth,
But would a Mars walk be?
walking on Mars.
What would a Neptune walk be? Jupiter walk? Pluto walk?
That's what I'm
You
asking.
want to do a Uranus walk?
Yeah.
I don't know. That was a little awkward.
Did you say Pluto?
Pluto's not a planet.
Oh, that's messed up.
You missed
man.
my joke.
To all the
You missed my joke. I can't go back.
dwarf planets out there, I got your back. Yeah, no.
He got the joke.
Michael Jackson actually didn't create it at all. It was
The astronauts,
it was
right?
taught to.
The
Let him
astronauts did
finish.
it. How did they were
let him
walking on the
finish.
moon?
Shut up.
They were
It was
moon
taught
walking.
to him by Jeffrey Daniel, part of Shalimar. And
Shalimar.
The
I
first,
know Shalimar
the
now.
first edition of the moonwalk was the backslide. So
Backslide.
that's kind of where I'm going out with like the earth walk. Like it's just a front slide versus a backslide. So
What
like,
about a side?
forward
What about a
versus
side
back.
slide?
Yeah.
What would a side
You know what I'm
slide be?
saying?
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
Mind blown. All right, let's get into our last segment of the night.
Oh.
Are you ready? 4,
Mr. Jig.
Berry or not. All right, so
Berry.
we're gonna get into this real quick. Let's see, we
I'm
have our
very
first.
ready.
We have our first. Is this a berry or not, Ryan?
So clearly this is a trick question because
Why is it clearly a trick question? It's just a watermelon. I
'Cause
thought
as-
you would love some watermelon.
I'm going to stomp you after this interview. But as a black man in America,
You heard that, right?
you made the watermelon joke first. As a black man in America, this is a watermelon. So if it's a berry,
Okay,
I'm going
all
to
I
be
need is a
pissed.
yes or no, babe. You know, like,
He's the watermelon expert on
It's
this.
a melon.
Mind blown.
It's a
All right.
melon.
He would
It's
know
a
what a melon
melon.
is.
is this a berry or not?
Strawberry.
That's
Yeah,
a
it's
strawberry. It's a berry. Berry's in
Obviously
the
a
name.
berry.
Wrong. Is
Wait,
this a berry or not?
If I'm wrong, what's a watermelon? It's a watermelon.
Wrong. Watermelon is a berry.
Why is it a why is it a watermelon?
I don't have to answer
And it's a
anything.
berry.
This is my podcast. Berry or not? Banana.
I think they're,
Banana!
I think they're very good. I don't know if it's a berry.
I like that. I really like that, Keith. I think you should keep going with that flow.
So before we continue and get too deep, what are the guidelines of a berry? Like what makes a berry a berry? Because clearly a melon is a berry.
Small seeds and derived from one seed.
Derived from one seed.
Yeah, and then it has a bunch of little seeds inside
So
of it.
anything that comes from a seed is a berry.
No.
No.
But you just said a berry is derived from one seed.
Yeah, a berry is.
Yeah.
So is it a berry or not?
It's a banana.
All right.
I think it's not.
It is a berry. All right, cool. On to eggplant. This is a trick question.
this is
This
a
is a
toughie.
trick question.
Okay, so it's not a trick question because I learned that anything that has seeds is a fruit.
Yeah.
And vegetables don't have seeds.
Yeah.
Vegetables don't exist. Please don't use
So-
that
so
word.
it's
Yeah,
not-
there are
Don't
no
use
Vegetables
Come on, guys,
exist
go back.
because
Not
Michael
exist.
Jackson said, "You're a vegetable." They hate you. You're a vegetable. So how does a vegetable not exist when the word vegetable?
Don't say the V word. I don't want to hear the V word.
I just
okay?
made cabbage yesterday. That's a vegetable.
No, that's cabbage.
Okay.
So
cabbage
is it a berry
vegetable.
or not?
Not a berry.
It's an eggplant.
All right, so it is a berry. On to the
Okay,
next
it's a
one.
berry.
Is a grape.
It's a berry.
It's a berry.
It's a berry.
Let's
Grape
go,
is a berry?
Ryan.
It's a berry.
What about a tomato?
It's a berry.
Keith?
It's a
I
berry.
don't think it's a berry.
This is a berry.
It's a berry.
What about a blackberry?
It's not a berry.
I don't think tomatoes
It's
are
not a
are
berry.
very good. So.
It's
No,
not a
you don't
berry.
like tomatoes.
It's-
What about a blackberry?
It's not a berry.
Correct.
It has berry in it. But it has
about-
berry in it.
Because,
What are you talking
because
about?
things that are berries aren't berries, and berries aren't berries either.
Are we living in like upside down? Like what? I don't understand.
We live in
Is
a
it like-
Zach's
is it
world.
like-
Yes,
is it
go
like-
darker down the hole. All right, raspberry.
Is that opposite
Not a
day?
berry.
Did
Not
no
a
one tell
berry.
me?
It's a red blackberry.
opposite day?
So it's not a
What is
berry.
going
It's a
on?
red blackberry. It's not
A
berry.
raspberry is indeed not a berry.
Boom. Look
An
at it.
avocado. Our
That's a
last
berry.
one.
That's a
It has
berry.
a pit. No,
An
no,
That's a
avocado.
berry.
I think the pit changes
He
things.
said the definition of a berry was it had to come from
Thanks.
one seed and blah blah blah. So that's a berry.
But apples come from a seed. Apples aren't berries.
Yes,
apples
they
aren't
are.
berries, right?
Apples aren't
berry? Oh, thank
berries.
goodness.
Is that a berry? It's a berry.
Is that a berry?
It's a berry. It's an avocado. It's a vegetable.
You're a vegetables don't exist.
Final answers?
Not a berry.
It has a pit, so I'm thinking not berry.
I said it's a berry at first, so if I'm wrong, I'm right.
It's a berry.
I told you it was a berry. I told you.
but it's
So what's
I
the
told you
life
it's a berry.
lesson learned here? Everything that is a berry is.
Not a berry.
And that'll do it. That was our last segment. Thank you for all tuning in to our
This is
podcast
dumb.
of Mind Blowers.
Mind blow.
This is berry stupid.
It's berry. You're right. It is berry.
It's
stupid.
very irritating.
Remember,
I'm very
everything that you
irritated.
may have heard on this
unbearable.
podcast may or not be true. That's up to you to decide. Thank you, everyone, and have a good
A
night.
watermelon is a melon.
No. It's a berry.
Watermelon.
Okay, but
Melon. It's in the name.
Strawberry is
Wa-
not a berry.
It's chocolate late. Is chocolate late or is it on time?